Gets me through my morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hazy on Nova.
That's as good as it gets. Front row to the Rachele show.
Jelly on the deli, eating jelly on the belly. Flying through the valley, singing Nelly with the jelly.
Please welcome to the show, Josh Rachele.
Okay, we'll get to footy in just a moment. Maybe we will, maybe we won't.
Who's to say?
No, because we need to get to the bottom of what happened at your house this week, and the cops were involved.
The cops are involved, yes. There was a few cars going up and down our street, a few neighbours outside looking what's going on.
Yeah, what happened?
So it started with, it's probably about 10, 11 o'clock at night, and Luke randomly got this text on his phone that said, "Oh, hey mate, you did such a good job on the weekend. Just picked up the boat. Thanks for giving me the boat." So Luke's got a boat at the front of our house at the moment. We're working out to store it in warehouse.
Yeah,
somewhere.
right.
So it's just at the front.
Yeah.
And he's like, he looks down, he's like, I don't think I've sold the boat. Calls his dad and goes, "Dad, have you sold the boat?" And he's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. So he runs outside quickly, pretty much just in his jocks, nothing on.
Yeah.
And the boat's missing.
Someone's taken it.
What?
And he's really rattled, runs upstairs to me because I'm trying to organise the warehouse for him to put his boat into. And he goes, "Josh, did you get the guy to come pick it up?" I go, "Oh, no, I don't think so, but I'll give him a text anyway." Call him up. No. And then next minute we're all outside, just pretty much just like in our jocks, looking outside. What's going on? And a cop car comes past.
Yeah.
Up and down our street a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then he goes right to the end of the street, and the signs go on and off, and we're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And then they drive past, put the windows down, laughing their heads off,
Yeah.
and go, "Are you guys missing a boat?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they're being so weirdly blunt. They didn't give us any details. We're like, "Oh, do you know where it's gone?" They're like, "Yeah. There's a car that took it down the road." And we're like, "Do you know who the car is?" "Yeah, it's a Mitsubishi." And we're like, "Do you know who the people are?" And they're like, "Yeah, there was these two Irish boys."
I was keen.
It was Keane and Carl Gallagher, right? They have put the boat at the end of our street and then parked their car hid in the car while the cops come past and put their backs. But the cops have put their signs on to see who's in the car because our neighbours across the road have called the cops and saw them in
Take
the
the
act.
boat.
So then they had to explain what was going on. It's just a prank. It's just a prank.
And then they've drove up and down our street multiple times so you couldn't see anyone in the car. And then park right at the front and come out with both of their girlfriends as well. They were in the prank too.
What?
Oh my gosh, this is So is it a prank? It is a prank that's technically gone wrong. But then the cops, good sports, have jumped on board.
They've jumped on board. And yeah, so it was just
So the cops
weirdest
were in
thing
on
ever.
it, were they?
Yeah, they were in on it.
That's amazing.
So they were they just laughed and drove off. They didn't really give us any details.
Irish pranksters.
Wow.
There you go. Is that stock standard from Mark Kane?
That's pretty stock standard, yeah. As soon as the day one he got to the club, because he had no one's phone number and he had his Irish phone, he was texting everyone on it and pretending that he was stalkers that would come to our house. He'd leave eggs and notes under our mat and he's a crazy guy.
There you go.
Footy club pranks, they're just next level, aren't they?
Got to stay sharp, though. Got
Yeah.
to stay sharp. Footy pranks are one thing, but what about football fines?
Yeah.
Any feedback, Josh, from your TikTok dancing on at Jody and Hazy? What was it to Charlie XCX?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Got a few views. I looked back on it. A few 30k views or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Pretty
Appreciate
cool.
that.
33 now.
Oh, thank you very much.
Listen to Josh, he's pretty happy with that.
Worth it, though?
Yeah, who cares? Get the cloud up.
Did you get any fines for that? Did you get any
Yeah,
feedback?
a couple of hundred. The boys weren't too happy with it. They showed it multiple times and it was pretty cringe to watch.
Yeah. And so also you've got form on this front because you did tell us that you'd been practicing in your hotel room at Melbourne.
Yes, I did, and that video got leaked as well, which wasn't too good.
So what about just picture I don't know, Jordan Dawson, Taylor Walker getting in the zone, probably studying vision
Yeah.
for the opposition.
Yeah.
Josh Rachele, TikTok dancers. just prepping for a game.
Wow, that's amazing.
Hey, can we ask, how much money did you find?
I think it was a few. I can't actually remember. I think it was like $300-400.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and where does that money go?
It goes towards our end of day Mad Monday. There's a few thousands in there. So as I was mentioning before, I don't know where the rest of the money is going because
cool.
alcohol, a few slabs isn't that much.
No. So who collects the money?
Kieran Strawn's our guy who's on the fines, so
Yeah.
I reckon it's going straight into his pocket the rest of the money.
Yeah, right. It sounds like it.
Oh my gosh, you could have a nice little day at the Hilton by the sounds of that.
Hey,
Real pricey.
you've come in with a little black eye. Not as bad as Texan, though.
No,
Ow,
poor
that
Taylor.
looked nasty.
It was. I didn't really on the game. I got real scared. I thought, oh shit, he's old. He's done something to his leg. Yeah, he's on the ground rolling around.
Yeah.
Then I looked back
I
on the
love when
vision.
Josh's mind goes, oh, geez, he's so old. What's happened?
And did I hear as well that he was getting feedback from some of his teammates that he was doing a ray gun impersonation?
Yeah, that was funny.
Rolling around on the ground doing all sorts of random movements.
That's amazing. But
Oh,
he's
take
going to be
on.
all right. It's not a Rory Sloane situation.
Nah, he got a quick little laser surgery straight after the game, but
Yeah.
he should be fine next week, depending how his old legs are.
There you go.
Jeez.
Hey, big game, of course, the Showdown. Do you love Showdowns more than any other game? Like, let's be honest, and I'm not going to set you up to say 1 week at a time, all that kind of stuff. But given you're not playing finals, how important is this game and how big is it?
Well, considering most of our list haven't played finals yet, that's kind of like the only finals game that we really get once a year, the big 40, 50,000 crowd. But yeah, I do love playing it, and I do love playing in the away ones the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. What sort of feedback do you get?
You can just hear all the Port fans with their no teeth in the background.
Oh, my God, that's going to
Fuel
come back.
that fire. Fuel
Oh,
that fire.
Jesus. That will come back.
Oh, that is nice.
Hey, Josh, very quickly before we let you go, we spoke during the week with a couple of girls here who are in the house market, and a survey has come back and said that most people would forego sex in order to have the money for a deposit on a house. You don't have a house yet, do you?
I do.
No.
Oh, you
Just
do
recently.
have a house,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Did you have to forego that in order to get your house?
not necessarily.
Hey!
Josh, one of those youngsters who can old El Paso it and do both. No. Oh, Josh, we appreciate you each and every week when we chat with you. Good luck this weekend and stay beautiful, I guess.
And just keep an eye on your boats, you guys. Jesus.
Yeah,
For goodness
we'll try.
sake. Keep an eye on Markeen as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers, mate. All the best.
Thanks, Jade. Hey,
Hey, you wanted to talk about cows.
Yes, please. Let's jump into this. There he is. When you think chocolate milk, your immediate thoughts, where does chocolate milk come from?
Well, sugar and colouring and flavours. Correct?
Into
What?
Your
Into milk.
into your stock standard
Well, I
milk.
just didn't feel like I had to say into milk because that was very Captain Obvious.
Don't you think it's super Captain Obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about this for a really alarming statistic from the country which is regarded as the leaders of the free world?
Yes.
A survey has revealed from the Innovation Center for the US that around 7% of American adults think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. Well, it makes sense because, like, they're brown, and so the milk would come out all brown and it would taste all chocolatey. Isn't that right? Oh, here it is. There's milk in a brown cow. 7%, that means 23 million Americans. 23 million Americans.
Oh, my
That
God.
chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Oh, my God. All the
my
Trump
God.
supporters are all starting to make sense. Far out.
Oh, so there you go. What else are you going to tell us? What? That they actually landed on the moon? What else? That COVID's real? Oh, what else have you got? That the Earth isn't round?
Oh, it's flat, you guys.
Flat, isn't it?
What else are they going to tell us? That there's not two Melania Trumps?
Oh, is there two Melanias? Is that a theory, is it?
There's a theory that there is a fake Melania, and I'm going to take that a step further. There's a fake Melania in the waiting who looks exactly like the real Melania, who they roll out when Donald and Melania have had an argument. Right?
Really?
And Melania doesn't want to face the world, and she doesn't want to walk out of, Air Force One or whatever. They're like, oh, Melania's having a day. Roll out the fake one.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What sort of milk does she produce? Because what I've always said with Melania's milk is if it's brown, do not drink it down. Welcome to newsreader Abby, who brings such a plethora of hot gossip.
What's happened?
Good morning.
Morning. What's happened now?
Who knows with my life today at the moment. I came across this and thought it would be interesting to have a chat about it. So basically a guy has a wife and she's pregnant. She's pregnant with twins. And he has gone and he has bitched to his friends and said, I get that she's pregnant, but she wants to be pampered all the time and this is ridiculous. Why am I doing so much? Essentially is what he's saying.
Can I just say, you stupid man.
So my mother used to say, and all the time, and still says it, Abby, men are stupid.
Yeah.
And you know what?
No one
Sorry,
disagreed, ever.
No one disagreed.
Hey, I agree.
When
I'm a man, I
when
agree.
Cara was pregnant, you were coming in here and bitching about her as well.
I was not doing that. Not doing that.
So the dad, he ranted to his friends, basically said, you know, he's upset because she basically wants to be pampered constantly. When it goes into the story, though, there's nothing about pampering. It's about she wants me to run to the post office. She wants me to go and do the food shopping, all that sort of thing. And he goes, I think she should still be able to do that because she's not that far along. But she's having twins.
Okay, so basically he needs to stop being an adult baby, put on his big boy pants, and just go and do this
One of his other issues is she's only 4 months pregnant, but she's obviously having twins. But he's had to also help with looking after the grandmother because she's not well.
Okay, well, welcome to life.
And he's working full time and he just thinks that all of this is really unfair.
Oh, it's too much.
She's pregnant and he's got to do all the heavy lifting and it's not fair.
Hey, can I just go into bat for him just a second?
Oh, yeah, go on then.
I'm
Go
just
on.
kidding.
No,
I'm
go
just
on.
kidding. There's no possible. Well, mate, if you're so upset about it, why'd you put a couple of babies in her? Right?
It's disgusting.
Well, can't have it both ways. Okay, I'm sure that was fun, but now there are consequences.
But I do wonder. I mean, obviously, I haven't had children, but I do wonder: do men think this? Like, as women get, yes, okay, you're pregnant, it's sucking the life out of you.
Yeah.
But do men actually think this deep down? Do they go, you know what? Why can't you go and hang the washing out?
So
Why can't you
100%.
run to the shops?
So if you're a man and you want to never have sex again with your wife, tell us about it.
Yeah.
13 24 10.
Yeah. Also, if you're a woman, give us a call on 13 24 10. Are you pregnant and you're milking the crap out of it? I'd love to hear from you as well.
Do you
your
know what? A
tactics.
friend of mine, and she's just had her first baby, and I went round to see her on the last weekend, and her husband, he's got leave. He's in with the police, and he's got leave. And I said, how's it all going? And, oh, yeah, he's been really good. Right? He made scones the other day. He made muffins. He's been baking. And I went, you know what? This
He's
is
a
ridiculous.
unicorn.
But I went, you know what? It shouldn't be celebrated at the sense of like, oh my God, look at this. Like, that's what he should be doing. He should be looking after them. He should be baking. He's got time off.
I don't know how to boil water, let alone make a scone.
I'd love to see you bake. In fact, I would love to put an apron on you and see you whip up some strawberry ricotta muffins.
I'd put myself in the oven accidentally,
Funny you should.
and
Funny
the
you
cake
should.
batter would be outside.
Funny you should. You'd eat the cake batter before we even got in there.
Got Andrew stuck in the oven again.
Well, I think it calls for this, doesn't it? You ready? Men suck. Men suck. Men suck. Men suck.
I'm going to say something really controversial, and I'm so open to feedback on 13 24 10. But the feedback to me is that millennials cannot work 5 days straight.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Wow.
Okay, I said it.
It's out there now. It's out there. Absorb that, ladies and gentlemen.
I am speaking on behalf of the plethora of employers, and I always get employers and employees mixed up.
Big difference.
Employers.
Big difference. Bought employees.
Shut up. Who say they simply cannot find staff. They cannot find young kids who are willing to do a full 5 days work.
Mate, when I was young, when I was coming through the system,
Here we go.
I was working 26 hours a day. They said it was impossible, found an extra 2.
That's that farm ethic coming out, and isn't it?
Yeah.
You
And
know?
15 miles to school every morning, stepping on the cow patties to keep my feet warm, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was there.
Anyway, so I sort of based this loosely on a conversation I had with a girlfriend of mine who runs a fairly big company, and she was telling me how one of the young employees in her 20s just disappeared from work during the day. And so she has rung her and said, hey, where have you gone?
You coming back?
And she was like, I'm cooking a roast because my boyfriend's parents are coming over. And the boss was like, okay, so when are you coming back? Because it was 1:00 in the afternoon. And she's like, well, I'm not. The roast chicken's going to spoil in the car.
It's forward thinking there, so I like that.
Well, but in what universe can you think back to when you started work if you just left the office at 1:00 and went, sorry, not coming back, cooking a roast for my boyfriend's parents tonight?
Yeah, I got fired from several jobs.
Did you?
For
This surprises no one.
punctuality and sort of tardiness and all that sorts of things. It was brutal back then. But I just think that what I did when I was sort of 18, 19 to get myself fired, you could definitely get away with now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's harder to fire people. Like you hear stories about young kids that take days off for their boyfriend's birthday. What?
Yeah, or pet deaths. That was never a thing. Mourning a pet death. And don't get me wrong, no one loved my dog more than me, but the idea that you'd take a day off to mourn like an animal, I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but that wasn't a thing back in the day.
It's not the intention to sound cold-hearted, and yet here we are. And you're right. No one loved your dog more than you.
Yeah.
No one loved that incontinent little mutt more than you.
I know. Spot on. Look at her. She's up in heaven right now. Pissing off God.
Actually, probably pissing on God.
Definitely pissing on God. Geez, is Jody wrong? Millennials, give us a call.
Well, come and defend yourself. I'm more than happy to hear it. If you've got a strong work ethic and you believe that you can work more than 8 hours a day, love to hear from you.
All right, give us a call, 13 24 10. I know exactly what's happening right now. Like, that's it. I'm going to call these clowns and... I couldn't be bothered.
Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, Battle of the Bangers.
We have established this, that in this space, I am firmly Sydney. There's poo all through the bed. Just completely soiled. Well, you, though,
You came out hard.
you are rising rapidly.
Well, that makes me who then?
Well, you were the Bulldogs, but then they got spanked on the weekend by the Crows.
So who am I?
Oh, jeez, you're coming home strong. Maybe you're Port Adelaide. You're sitting nicely, second on the ladder, but in some good form.
That works well for this week, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because the theme is Showdown Colours.
Showdown Colours. Now, can you explain?
Yep.
Because sometimes it can be a little bit long-winded, the themes.
Well, it's absolutely not. And I tried to explain this in the meeting. It's very, very, very simple.
Okay.
Port Adelaide are black, white and teal.
Oh, you're going to rattle off your favourite Teal song, eh?
So that was my assignment, to find a song related to that.
Yeah.
The Adelaide Crows are blue.
Red, blue and yellow. You got her.
This is what's really frustrating is I knew you were going to do it just to annoy me and I still reacted.
Does it matter?
What
order
matters.
you say that?
It matters the order that you do certain things at the club because it's like a style guide, but also it is gold.
So red, blue and gold.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, Emily, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
Just
Abby,
calm
we
down,
don't
you
say that
crows
to
nuffy.
we don't say that to pregnant women.
Yeah.
Pregnant? Oh, look,
You
come
should
on.
know this.
You're fine.
Yeah.
It's not even that hard to be pregnant.
Is that right? Okay, interesting. All right, can you go first, Jodes?
I certainly
In the
can.
spirit of your Port Adelaide.
Yep.
Okay, what have you got for us?
So I was thinking about, songs with teal, songs with black. There's a few, not many that took my fancy, but this song absolutely took my fancy. Bit of Pretty Fly for a white guy.
Sing this next bit, you ready?
All the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Ah, that's a good tune. This is why you're in such good form. The stuff that you used to bring used to be garbage.
That's not true.
And then you turned it all around.
That is certainly untrue. All right, what you got?
Offspring, Pretty Fly for a White Guy. Versus a song that just, I feel, also gets you up and about in terms of really shaking your body in the spirit of a showdown. Yeah, that's right. RHCP. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Hey, low-hanging fruit. But what do we always say? The sweetest fruit
Tastes the
and is
sweetest.
the lowest.
Yeah, okay.
Can't stop. Can't.
Head?
Hey, dudes. Built for my song.
I can't stop.
Can't stop Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Thoughts?
We've had this debate before about the best Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Yes, it's probably not their greatest song of all time, but it's, for me, the catchiest and gets me up and about the most.
What did they sing at the closing ceremony for the Paris Games?
This was there. They definitely sung Can't Stop, I'm sure of it.
Are you sure?
When they crossed LA. We didn't watch it because we couldn't hear the sound, but watching the TV.
Did you watch Can't Stop or Can't Stop?
Can't Stop. They played Can't Stop. All right, get voting at Jodie and Hazy, and it is currently 13 apiece.
Ooh.
I can't believe this.
It's tense, isn't it?
That's 5. You're going for 6 weeks in a row.
Uh-huh.
Oh, gosh. What are you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, wow. Don't turn on those people that jump on the Instagram page and vote. Please don't.
Well, you won't turn on them because they're on your side.
Exactly.
I'm starting to take it personal.
They're my friends.
At Jodie and Hazy, get voting right now, and then we will reveal the winning song tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
I think at some stage last year, I said this is starting to feel like a popularity contest because I was losing no matter what I put up. And you said, oh, well, people hate you.
Yeah. And I got to say, it has completely swung around. And I'll ask this, when did I lose you, folks? When did I lose you? What was it?
Do you really want to know?
No, I don't want to know.
I do.
That's going to hurt my soul.
At what point did his heart break like Ralph on the Simpsons?
Oh,
I think there's
100%.
a few things you've done in your time.
Okay, all right.
There was an incident on television this week, more specifically on ABC Breakfast, and there's a guy called Nate Byrne, and he's a weather presenter, very, very popular. And he got midway through a weather presentation when this happened to him.
Right through that part of the country, and we're going to see lots more rain in the days ahead. I'm actually going to need to stop for a second. Some of you may know that I occasionally get affected by some panic attacks, and actually that's happening right now. Lisa, maybe I could hand back to you.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And she promptly took over, and the whole team at ABC there rallied around Nate, and I feel like watching that back, they had a contingency plan. He'd obviously sat there and said, this happens to me quite often during weather. I need you guys to be able to pick me up if I fall. And I loved 2 things about this. I love that his team gathered around just to prop him up.
Yeah.
And I also love for all those people out there who have suffered panic attacks to watch their televisions and watch that unfold and go, oh my God, I'm not alone.
Yeah. I think this would happen much more than people would realise. And in particular with some of these people who part of the job is to look so natural, so cool, so relaxed.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's happening beneath the scenes. And by beneath the scenes, I mean, you might be watching someone and going, gosh, they're so comfortable. Put a heart rate monitor on them and it's doing 220 clicks.
Yeah. And listening back to that was really hard for me because I can categorically say that panic attacks nearly ended my career.
Really?
100%.
What, in terms of radio or TV?
Both. A little bit of both. Not so much radio because I've always felt really comfortable in this space, but television is a different beast because, as you well know, it's a visual medium. So radio, you can sort of hide behind things. I know that if I trip up, you're going to catch me. If I fall, that's fine. But it is a very lonely place staring down the barrel of a camera. And I used to get them in particular when I was doing weather on Channel 10. And because weather, as you know, is 3 minutes, it's down the barrel of the camera. There's nowhere to hide. So if you start, and even when I'm thinking about it now, I can feel my voice going because it's such a muscle memory thing, such a visceral thing to feel and experience. When your heart starts to beat up like that, you can't breathe, you can't get the words out, and you are so very cognizant of the fact that you are live on television at the time.
Yeah.
And 3 minutes, you think this starts to happen like it did to Nate, 20, 30 seconds in. Where are you going to run, mate?
It's hell, isn't it?
It is absolute hell. And I know you know what I'm talking about, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But it's taken a lot of things, a lot of therapy to work out why. I know it's a physical reaction. It's fight or flight. I understand that. So when your body gets stressed, it's like back in Neanderthal days, you've been chased by a tiger. Your heart starts to beat up. Everything starts to accelerate to protect yourself. So that is the reaction. I understand the reaction, but it's taken a lot of work to be able to deal with that and a lot of breath work to breathe through it. I know the things now that if I'm feeling a bit on edge, if my central nervous system is up and about, I know what I have to do to stop thinking about what I'm about to do to be able to get through it. I've been doing this for 20 years and it still happens on occasion.
What was your worst? Do you remember a specific one where...
There's been times when I thought it was when Beck Morse was on the desk, and there's been times when I've been that close and I'm talking milliseconds away just to throwing back. doing what Nate did.
Yep.
And just going, I'm sorry, we've got technical problems we have to throw back. So, yeah, it's so weird that it sort of starts to happen now when I talk about it.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange? And I know
You get those old feelings again where your heart's like, hang on, what's going on? Are we panicking?
But you know, at the base of it is not wanting to humiliate yourself.
Yeah.
Not wanting to be embarrassed, not wanting to look foolish or stupid. That's at I think the psychological core of panic attacks.
Yeah, so then it goes from, and instead of talking about what you're talking about, like you would say with a friend at a bar, all of a sudden you're just concentrating on the words.
Yeah.
And that leads to mistakes.
Yeah.
And then once you make a mistake, your brain's like, don't you dare make another mistake. And if you do, your heart's pounding like an absolute jackhammer.
It's very hard to describe to people who've never experienced, but it is such an overwhelming sensation that you fear that you can't form words. And that's been my biggest fear my whole career, is having nothing to say.
Yeah, I think it's all about balance for you, Jodes, too, to be honest with you.
What do you mean, mate?
So if you're panicking too much and you can't speak versus you're too relaxed and sometimes genuinely throwing to you, good morning, Jody. Yes, hello. Oh, my gosh. I've had some good ones, though.
You've had some good ones live on television as well. I really want to hear about those, because it's again, refreshing to watch someone like Nate from the ABC go through that and to go, oh, my God, that's each and every one of us.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell you about mine next. And also, we might catch up with newsreader Abby, because she puts herself in a vulnerable space as well each and every morning. Much harder than it looks and sounds, although sometimes we make it sound pretty hard.
Just really want to applaud a weather presenter from the ABC called Nat Byrne, who suffered a panic attack live on the television, the worst possible place on the planet that you could possibly have one. And he got halfway through. They must have had a contingency plan for when he does it, because his team were quick to rally around him and support him. But this is how it played out.
Right through that part of the country, and we're going to see lots more rain in the days ahead. I'm actually going to need to stop for a second. Some of you may know that I occasionally get affected by some panic attacks, and actually that's happening right now. Lisa, maybe I could hand back to you.
I feel like everybody who suffers from panic attacks can hear it in his voice.
Totally.
You can feel, he's not right with his breath.
Yep.
And you can feel the sort of almost like he's tightening up, and it's the worst feeling in the world.
And we're talking this morning about it happening live on the television, but it happens everywhere. It happens in the workplace where you're so embarrassed in front of your colleagues. It happens when you have to speak in public. It can happen absolutely anywhere. Happen on a plane, train, wherever. So, I mean, we'd love to hear from you if you've been through it and if you've survived it. But Hazy, you've had a couple of doozies.
A couple of doozies. And you're right in that in terms of being embarrassed in front of your colleagues. So I work at Channel 7.
Yep.
And in particular, our sports presenters. So Soda,
Yep.
ABBA,
Yep.
and Tom Wilson. I don't think there's better sport presenters getting around.
No, there's not.
And obviously, I'm probably going to be very biased. But so you watch them and go, my God, that's flawless.
Yeah.
I can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And they're flawless because they've done it for so long, but also they're very confident in all sorts of things. But it's very interesting. I've spoken to Bruce Abernethy about it, and he says he still gets very nervous each and every time that he reads.
Which is a good thing, because I think nerves they serve you to keep you alert, and they keep you on the ball. The minute you stop feeling nervous, it's almost like you don't care anymore, right?
Yeah. I remember doing a cross, and it was a in-studio cross.
Yep.
So you've got all the help you need, but there was no grab in between, so it was just me speaking straight for 60 seconds.
So when we say grab, we mean like you throw to the Premier, or you throw to Tex Walker, or you throw to Ken Hinkley, whatever it may be.
If you were stumbling and you threw to the grab, you can sort of recompose yourself.
You've got 15, 20 seconds to breathe.
To start up again and finish it off strong.
Yep.
So I didn't have that, and for whatever reason, I felt good going into it, but I can't even remember what it was about. It was about Crows Report. And I started talking, and if you make a mistake early, instead of talking about what you're talking about, you start making sure you don't stuff up the next words. And inevitably, when you do that, you stuff up the next words.
Yep.
And you start chasing yourself, and in your brain saying, don't stuff up again, you're really making a meal of this. And you start thinking about your breathing. In that particular moment, I was taking too many breaths in.
Yep.
It was in, small breath out, to the point where I was like... I was talking like that, and I remember I got to the end of it. It was a minute and a half, but I don't think I took a breath out at all for the whole thing. So I remember throwing back to, I think I threw back to Soda.
Yeah.
And then I had to almost lie down.
Yeah.
And the head was spinning, and it's the most uncomfortable situation I've ever been in my life. And it wasn't a big cross. It wasn't, it wasn't overly important. It was just one of those moments where it came from absolutely nowhere, and I was prepared.
Yeah.
It just hit me.
Well, I'm not going to name this girl's name, but I watched a friend do a cross the other night, and she was shaking so hard. Her hand was shaking so hard that her paper was, you could actually hear it. Yeah. And she said to me straight after, she goes, I don't know what happened. She said, I felt really great going into it. And that's the thing with these panic attacks. They come out of bloody nowhere and they can strike you. And the ferocity of it, it can just be debilitating.
Yeah. So it doesn't even have to be in a public situation.
No.
Like where you're under the spotlight. It can happen absolutely anywhere. We've got a call. Let's go to Shana in Muddo-Parra. Shana, good morning to you. Thanks for sharing. But you get panic attacks?
Good morning. I do all the time. As a mum of 3, it's like my biggest fear having it happen with the kids around.
Yeah.
And then when my first started school, I was so scared to drop him to school and it was going to happen. And it did end up happening one of the mornings. And all the school mums had seen it. I just started bursting into tears. And I had the teachers and all these mums that I had, complete strangers come and rally around me. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was embarrassing, but it was beautiful at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but they happen all the time. Like, even at the gym, it's always when you least expect it. It'll be that morning where I feel really good, and then I get in there and it happens. But I'm sort of learning to get through it.
Yeah. And, Shana, I think the hard thing with this is it becomes a fear of it happening. So there's...
Yeah, and then you make it happen.
Yes, yeah. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. But one day at a time, and the stories that you are all sharing and bringing awareness is beautiful. I just think it's so important.
Thank you, Shana. Thank you so much for sharing your story as well, because, you bring a light to the fact that it could happen to anyone at any time, in any situation.
I would highly recommend, Shana, for you and anyone who goes through it, is to talk it through with a professional, because that is really, really helpful. But also they can give you some breathing techniques to try and deal with it when it's happening.
We're going through therapy at the moment, and I share my story on Instagram and everywhere. I'm trying to bring awareness myself, so super passionate.
Well,
what's your handle there, Shana?
The Peaceful Homemaker.
Peaceful Homemaker.
Get around her. All right, Shana, thank you so much for your call.
Beautiful.
We really
Have
appreciate
a great day, guys.
Okay.
Say
hi to the little people in the background too, who aren't aware that Mummy's on the radio.
Jody and Hazy's Loose Lips.
Yes, Loose Lips. Jodes, this is the little segment which was originally born to help you better absorb information, because sometimes your listening skills can be, let's just say they're a bit of a work on.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, questionable at best. Yeah. I'll take that. But we've played this for a couple of weeks where I put on the noise-cancelling headphones and you deliver a line, and then I have to work out what you're saying.
Yes, and you magically turn it blue somehow.
Yeah, and you became so obnoxious in this space once again that I was like, well, you have a go. And here we are.
Oh, we're going to do a little role reversal.
We are doing a massive role reversal.
So I'm Jody?
Yep.
I'm doing Jody role. Okay, you ready? I'll start from here. What's going on? What day is it? I'm just being jokes.
You're right.
I'm just being jokes.
Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do...
Wait, what?
I'm going to get you to slip on those noise-cancelling headphones.
Yes.
We're going to put some music in your ears.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything now except for some delicious elevator music.
Okay, that's good. All right. He left me high and dry. Not that easy, is it?
Feeling high as a kite?
It's kind of close. He left me high and dry.
I know the rhyming word. You left me wanting to die?
One more. One more. Let's have another crack at it. You ready? Okay. He left me high and dry.
He left me wanting to fly high?
No. Okay, turn off the music.
What is it?
He left me high and dry.
Oh, gosh, thank goodness, because he left me wanting to die. Oh, my gosh, that's
grim,
aggressive feedback.
So grim. All right. Okay, none from one. Music on.
Hello?
Oh, my God. I like to eat your toes.
Oh, God.
I like you because you're old.
I like to eat your toes.
I like old balls. Is that closer? Closer. Give me one more. Give me one more. Give me one more. I can do this.
Okay,
I can do this.
Ready?
Something about old balls. Something about old balls.
I like to eat your toes.
I can't say it.
Go on. You're gonna.
Are you saying I like to eat your scrotum? What is it?
Okay. I like to eat your toes.
Oh my God. Toe scrotum. Oh my God.
Oh, same thing, but a little bit different.
Wow.
Just a little bit lower. That's all.
What's worse? Am I right?
Let the cat out of the bag. Your face is so priceless.
Let the hat go on the bag?
Oh, so close. Think about it. Come on. Let the cat out of the bag.
Cat. Let the cat out of the bag. Yeah! Oh, he's done it! Oh, my God!
Oh, yes, friend. Well done. 1 from 3. That'll do.
1 from 3 will take that.
Yeah, but also I like to eat your scrotum.
Probably fresher than my toes.